This is not the post that I wanted to give you, but it's the post I needed to give you because I screwed up. I made a big mistake. This is not the post that I wanted to give you, but it's the post I needed to give you because I screwed up. I made a big mistake. Okay, it wasn't huge, but it was still a mistake, and it's the kind of mistake that I don't want any of you to make, and it's a mistake that I don't want to make again, and it's a mistake worth talking about. So we're going to talk about it today. As you can see over here is the picture of one of my characters walking lonely in some kind of carnival with the Ferris wheel behind her, and this is one of the photos that I chose from, and I don't remember which one, if it was either Unsplash or Pexels, but we're going to come back to that in a second, that I chose as the inspiration to motivate the writing of this novel that has yet to be named. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. Everything I've done has been completely above board. However, I need to tell you what happened this morning. I was going through my email, and I had received a notification on my website from someone saying, make sure that you get permission from the artist, from the photographer, before you use their stuff. So when I read this note on my website, my immediate response was to get defensive, because I felt like I'm being attacked. Like, are you accusing me of stealing somebody's work? Like, I'm an artist, I'm a creator, and if I had received the even nominal commission for every book of mine that had been illegally pirated over the last 10 years, I would be making a lot more money than I am right now, so don't talk to me about stealing people's stuff. So I got really upset. Then I settled down a little bit and reread it a few more times and realized that was not the intent of what the poster was saying in this message. What they were saying was for me to remind you, hey, you don't get to just go grab stuff off the internet and then post it. Whether or not you're claiming it is irrelevant. You just don't get to do that. And I was like, okay, that's fair. That's absolutely right. Here's the mistakes that I made, though. First of all, again, the two sites that I go to for this type of endeavor are Pexels.com and Unsplash.com. To the best of my knowledge, both of those sites are legitimate. These are sites where you can sign up, create an account, post your own stuff, and people can then use it without giving you credit, without paying you for it. You can literally take these photos and use them to make your own money if you want to, and it's totally legal and it's totally above board. If you, watching this video or listening to this podcast right now, have heard anything different about these two sites, please let me know. Again, to the best of my knowledge, that's how it works. Now, there are sketchy sites or outright pirate sites who will they'll set up a website, they'll go and take all of these free photos, put them onto their own website, and then charge people who don't know any better for those photos, and then keep all the money themselves. They don't give any to the artist, they just keep it for themselves. That is wrong. That is, I don't know if it's illegal, but it probably is, and if not, it certainly should be. In any event, it's still ripping off the artist. Let me give you an example. I recently had hired an artist to do a book cover for me. This particular artist does what's called photo manipulation, which means she is taking photos and images and elements, as they're called, and reshaping them, reforming them, putting them into her own work, and then I get that final work. And it's really beautiful. She does excellent work. When I got my final work, she said, when you post this or when it goes live or whatever, make sure you credit X, Y, and Z because these are the elements that I used. So here's what's happening. She is purchasing different photo elements that she has not created. Okay, she's purchasing a person and then an animal or a dragon or whatever, and then some background and then some of this and some of that, all these like Photoshop elements, combining them using her skill, and then I'm paying her for that final product. Part of that money goes to the artists whose elements she has purchased. Okay, hope that makes sense. That's perfectly legitimate, that's perfectly fair, and that's exactly how it's supposed to be. Legally and morally, I'm on totally firm ground here, okay? Again, Pexels and Unsplash, you can take these photos, you can do whatever you want with them, you don't have to give credit, you don't have to pay anybody, they're just there for anybody to use for any purpose they want, including commercial. Cool. Except it's not cool, is it? There's no reason for me to not give credit to these photographers, and I didn't do that. And I am so, so sorry. As someone whose work gets stolen all the time and it's costing me money, that's a very small thing to do for somebody. That's a very small thing to give someone credit, even if legally I'm not required to. It's still the right thing to do. So as soon as we're done here and I'm done with this post, I'm going to go back to my website where these photos are posted and make sure and give credit. And what I should really do, frankly, is give credit on every single one of these videos on YouTube, just because it's the right thing to do. I should link to it. There's all kinds of music out there that you can do that with, that you can use for free, provided you give credit and a link. And that's nothing. That is not much to ask. So again, legally, I'm on totally fine ground to the best of my knowledge, but it wasn't cool to not include, hey, here's credit to the photographer. So I deeply, deeply apologize for that. It was a mistake. I wasn't thinking. I was all excited about doing the posts and everything. So I will go and I will correct that because it's the right thing to do. On that note, don't fucking steal books. I'm dead serious. Like, if you were to total up all of, even if it's just the 10% royalty that I would be due for all of my books that have been uploaded electronically to these fucking piracy sites over the course of 10 years, that is thousands and thousands of dollars that I don't have now because people stole books. Please don't do that. Please don't let other people do that. And please be aware, as an author, as a creator, it's going to happen to you. It's going to happen. Now, I used to spend time going to these sites, and when I was, I could send emails to Random House, to Simon & Schuster, or whatever. They actually have departments that are set up specifically for this. You send them a link, and they will go after them and demand that it be taken down. And guess what? It works. They get taken down, and they show up tomorrow on a completely different website. Once you put something out there electronically, dude, anyone can get it. That's it. That's it. Anyone could rip, tear, shred, whatever the cool word is now, could take all these videos I'm putting on YouTube for free and manipulate them, or even not manipulate them. They could put them behind a paywall somewhere and charge other people for the content that I'm giving you for free. They can do that, and the chances of me being able to stop them are almost zero. So if you want to put out content, you want to be a writer, be aware this is going to happen. And if you're a pirate, guess what? If you're a pirate who wants to be a writer, enjoy, because this is how it's going to happen. We could get into a whole argument about information should be free and all that kind of stuff, and I'm not even going to get into it. I have opinions on it, and my opinions largely don't matter on that front. I'm just saying, please don't do it. Now, the flip side is there are also wonderful, beautiful people who care and who have the money to do it, who will support everything I do, even if it's not necessarily their genre or whatever, and to them I owe gratitude that I can't even begin to express. I've got people on Patreon I know for a fact are not writers and aren't even necessarily readers, but they pay $5 a month just to support me and to support what I do. And to those people, wow. Like, how do you even begin to say thank you for that? That kind of thing helps offset the piracy, but it's still, piracy still sucks, So that's my rant for the day. I, again, sincerely apologize to both of these photographers, both of whom I'm trying to reach out to right now and try to get their permission, even though, again, just for clarity, I don't need it based on these two sites, but I'm going to do it anyway, because the person who sent me this email is absolutely correct. You need to check. Now, the other part about that, if you are planning on being self-published or doing independent publishing or whatever, you absolutely need to know 100% for sure that the images you are going to use in any of your books, whether that's in a cover or interior art or whatever, you absolutely have to be sure that you have the right permissions to do that, particularly if you're going to be charging money for it. Now, the fact whether you are making money or not is not a determinant as to whether you need permission. I'm not making money on this right now. I'm using this image on my website right now. You can go see it. Great. I'm not making money off it. Cool. But had I just grabbed it off the internet somewhere, if I would have done, just like a Google Images search or something like that and just grabbed it from some other random website, I need to make sure that I have the right permissions to post it on my site, even though you're not paying me to do this. Okay? That's very important to know. You always, always, always have to have proper permissions for photos, for music, for whatever, etc. I don't. Now let's do a let's pretend, okay? Let's pretend I reach out to the photographer of this particular shot, and she's like, no, take it off your site right now. Okay, on the one hand, I got it from a site that's legit and said I could use it for free. I don't have to listen to her. I'm doing a courtesy by asking permission. That's all it is. It's a courtesy. It's a professional courtesy, but it's just a courtesy. So I could say, the hell with you and leave it up. But it kind of ruins the point of being a professional courtesy if I don't take her wishes into account. So even though I got it from a free site that is legitimately free, that I can legitimately use, commercially or otherwise, if the photographer, for whatever reason, maybe she doesn't like my website, maybe she doesn't like my books, maybe she doesn't like how I look, whatever, if she says, no, take it down, I'm going to take it down. It's the right thing to do. Okay? Having said that, that doesn't impact the writing of the book. We're not talking about using this image in the book anymore. We're talking about an image that was used to inspire the writing of a novel. I can still write the novel. I can still publish the novel. I can write a book about a girl dressed exactly like this at a carnival with the Ferris wheel and the glasses and the cotton candy, the whole nine. Doesn't matter because that's not what's protected. That's just an idea. You can always do that. You can look at any picture you want and be inspired and write a book about it. The Mona Lisa. I'm going to write a book about it. Great. No problem. That's not an issue. If you're going to actually use an image or a sound or whatever, you need to be sure that you have the right to do that. That's all. And that, again, becomes particularly important if you're going to be self-publishing or independent publishing. You can't just grab stuff off the internet and say, oh, this looks cool, and put it up as a book cover. People do it, and it's wrong. It's just really wrong. So please don't do that. Please don't pirate books. And if you're a writer, be aware your books are going to be pirated. And you're going to have to find some other ways of sort of getting some income from time to time. So be aware of all those kinds of things. So once again, my heartfelt apologies to these photographers. I'm going to go back to my website and to my posts and make sure and properly credit them. And then hopefully, I'll hear back from them whenever I can. I've got contacts out right now. It's up to them if they get back to me. I will not be taking the images down because, again, legally and even morally, I feel protected based on the sites that I got them from. So that's today's post. I hope that's helpful. Just stuff to be aware of. Be cool online. That's what it comes down to, right? Be cool online and give credit where credit is due. Thanks very much. I hope your writing is going very well, and we will talk to you very soon. Keep writing.